My name is Emily Watson, and I'm 62 years old. Not long ago, the most shocking and thrilling thing happened to me. On a night coach to London. Please hit subscribe and like. It really helps me make more stories. I never imagined I'd feel these emotions again at my age. I'm going to tell you about that night. I live alone in a small village in the Cotswolds. It's an old stone house. The garden isn't as tidy as it used to be. It's too large for one person to manage. That evening, it was my sister's birthday. I had to visit her in London. I'd booked a late-night coach. It was nearly midnight. Under the clouded sky, the motorway stretched out black and endless. Most passengers were already asleep, heads resting against windows or buried in scarves. The heating hummed softly. Outside, raindrops began streaking down the glass. I chose a window seat near the back. I struggled to lift my small suitcase onto the overhead rack. My arms aren't as strong as they once were. That's when he appeared.
May I help you with that?
The voice came from behind me, low and warm. I turned to find a tall man standing there. Perhaps 65, with silver hair and kind eyes creased at the corners. He lifted my case easily and slid it into place. "Thank you," I said. "Very kind of you,"
James?
he said, extending his hand. "Emily." His handshake was firm yet gentle. He took the aisle seat beside mine without asking, and somehow it didn't feel intrusive. It felt natural. As the coach pulled away from the depot, we spoke quietly. He seemed to live alone as well. I could sense the loneliness in his voice. I felt the same. We recognized each other's solitude. The overhead lights dimmed. Passengers drifted into sleep. James and I fell into comfortable silence, but I was acutely aware of his presence beside me. His warmth, the faint scent of his cologne, woody and understated. I closed my eyes. Fatigue from the day's birthday preparations washed over me. Then I felt it, a gentle pressure against my thigh, subtle, almost accidental. I kept my eyes closed. My heart began to race. Was it intentional? Was he simply shifting position? The pressure continued, light but unmistakable, his leg resting against mine. I didn't move away. Minutes passed. The coach swayed gently on the motorway. Rain drummed against the windows. And then his hand very slowly, very carefully brushed against my knee. Just his fingertips, barely touching the fabric of my skirt. I held my breath.
Emily?
He whispered.
Are you awake?
I didn't answer. I kept my breathing steady, feigning sleep, but my pulse hammered in my ears. His fingers traced a delicate line up my thigh, stopping at a respectful distance, then retreated. The touch was questioning, seeking permission. I shifted slightly towards him. A silent answer. His hand returned bolder now, settling on my thigh with gentle confidence. His thumb moved in slow circles through the fabric. Heat bloomed beneath his touch. It had been so long since I'd been touched like this. I'd almost forgotten what it felt like, this electricity, this awakening of every nerve. The coach hit a bump. His hand steadied me, gripping my thigh more firmly. I let out a soft breath, and he heard it. I felt him lean closer, his shoulder pressed against mine, his lips near my ear.
If you want me to stop, just say so.
I turned my head slightly. Our faces were inches apart in the darkness. I could feel his breath, warm and steady. "Don't stop." His hand moved to my face, cupping my cheek with surprising tenderness. His thumb traced my jawline. Then his lips found mine, soft at first, questioning, then deeper as I responded. We kissed slowly, carefully, aware of the sleeping passengers around us. His hand slid to the back of my neck, fingers tangling in my hair. My hand found his chest, feeling his heart beating as rapidly as mine. When we finally pulled apart, we were both breathing hard. He rested his forehead against mine.
I didn't expect this.
He murmured. Neither did I. His hand returned to my thigh, and this time I placed my own hand over his, lacing our fingers together. We sat like that, connected, present, alive as the coach carried us through the night towards London. For the first time in ages, I didn't feel alone. The rain continued to fall. The motorway stretched ahead. And somewhere between the Cotswolds and London, two lonely people had found something unexpected, something that felt dangerously like hope. We arrived at the first service station and I was flustered. As the coach stopped, the lights came on. Passengers began to stir one by one. I couldn't look at James. My face felt hot.
Fancy a coffee?
He asked quietly. Yes, please. My voice trembled. I hurried towards the toilets. My reflection in the mirror looked unfamiliar. My cheeks were flushed. My eyes were unsettled. I'm 62 years old, I told myself. This is ridiculous. But my heart was still racing. I washed my hands and reapplied my lipstick, tidied my hair, took a deep breath. Then I went back outside. James was sitting on a bench outside the shop, two paper cups in hand. When he saw me, he smiled. It was a warm smile, non-judgmental. I sat beside him. Thank you. I took the coffee. We sat in silence for a while. Around us, people smoked, made phone calls, bought snacks. An ordinary night at a service station. But the air between us wasn't ordinary.
Emily,
James spoke first.
if I overstepped, I apologize.
No, I said quickly. I wanted it too. He looked at me. His gaze was serious.
I've been alone for a long time.
He said,
I can't remember the last time I was this close to someone.
Me neither. Our hands touched on the bench. He took my hand, openly, confidently. Strange, isn't it? I whispered. At our age,
What does age matter?
he countered.
Does loneliness have an age? Does excitement have an age?
I couldn't answer. An announcement came over the tannoy about the coach departing. We stood up. His hand still held mine. Walking back to the coach, reality began to creep in. Will I see this man again? What happens when we reach London? Is this just a dream in the middle of the night? We took our seats and the lights dimmed again. This time, I didn't hesitate. James extended his arm and I leaned against his shoulder. His arm wrapped around me. Naturally, as if we'd been doing this for years. Where are you headed? I asked.
I've got a small flat near King's Cross. And you?
My sister's place, Paddington Way. There was distance between them. Not particularly close. I've got lunch with my sister tomorrow, I said. Birthday lunch,
Have a lovely time.
he said. Silence fell. Uncomfortable silence. James, I gathered my courage. Could we see each other again? His arm tightened around me.
I'd like that.
He said.
But I need to be honest with you.
My chest tightened.
I'm not looking to marry.
He said carefully.
After losing my wife, I don't have the confidence to take on that responsibility again. Financially, it's not easy either. I'm barely getting by on my pension.
I nodded. I understood. I feel the same, I said. I've never thought about remarrying. It's just, you don't want to be lonely.
Yes.
He stroked my hair.
What if we did this?
He suggested.
We meet every 2 months. Halfway. Have lunch. Go for walks. No pressure. Just be a comfort to each other.
Is that possible?
Why not? We're both adults.
He was right, but something in my heart ached. James's hand lifted my chin gently. In the darkness, he looked at me.
Emily, I like you.
He whispered,
I'm so glad we met tonight.
but this is all I can offer. Would that be enough for you? Tears welled in my eyes. Not from sadness, I was moved by his honesty. It's enough, I said. That's plenty. He kissed me, this time more gently, more deeply. His hand wrapped around my waist. My hand went to the back of his neck. We stayed like that for a long time. The coach raced through the darkness. London drew closer and closer. James gave me his phone number, written on paper by hand, the old-fashioned way.
Our generation's way. Ring me in a week.
He said. We'll decide where to meet. I promise. He smiled. That smile warmed my heart. I rested my head on his chest. I listened to his heartbeat, steady and calm. Is this love? I asked myself, or just an illusion created by loneliness? I didn't know. But in this moment, it didn't matter. Through the window, the lights of London began to appear. The city was waking. Our night was coming to an end. But something new was beginning. The coach entered the outskirts of London. The city lights grew brighter and brighter. I was nestled in James's arms. I could feel his warmth. His cologne lingered at my nose. This might be the last time, I thought. Once we reach London, we'll part ways. The thought made my chest ache. James took my hand. He stroked my fingers slowly, one by one, as if trying to memorize them. His hand moved up my arm, slowly, carefully, past my elbow to my shoulder. He brushed my neck. I closed my eyes. I opened my eyes. He was looking at me, his gaze intense.
I won't forget tonight.
He said. Neither will I. He kissed me again, this time more urgently. We both knew time was running out. His hand stroked down my back, from top to bottom. Slowly, my hand rested on his chest. I could feel his heart beating through his shirt. The kiss deepened. His tongue teased my lips. I parted them. Sensations I'd forgotten long ago returned. His hand moved to my side, wrapped around my waist, pulled me closer. I didn't resist. We stayed like that for ages, kissing, caressing, whispering. All the passengers around us were asleep. It was our world alone. James pulled his lips away and kissed my forehead, my cheek, my neck. I held my breath.
You're so beautiful and delicious.
He whispered. I'm 62, I said with a laugh.
What does that matter?
His hand cupped my face. His thumb stroked my lips. I kissed his fingers. He kissed me again, this time slowly, gently, unhurried. Time seemed to stop. But the coach kept moving. London drew ever closer. James took my hand and placed it on his chest. His heart was racing.
Can you feel it?
He said, That's because of you. I took his hand and placed it on my chest. It was beating just as fast. We laughed. Then the announcement came over the speakers. We'll shortly be arriving at Victoria Coach Station. Reality returned. James gripped my hand tightly. The coach began to slow. Passengers stirred one by one. They gathered their belongings. I looked at James. I wanted to remember his face, his smile, his eyes. I'll ring you, I promised. The coach stopped at the station. The doors opened. We stood up. He lifted down my case. I tried to help with his, but he managed alone. We stepped off the coach. The dawn air was cold. People scattered in all directions. We stood in a corner of the terminal. It was time to say goodbye. James pulled me into a tight embrace. Openly, in front of everyone. I hugged him back, hard. I didn't want to let go. We separated. He gave me one last kiss on the cheek.
Take care, Emily.
You too, James. He turned and walked away, towards the underground entrance. He disappeared into the crowd. I pulled the paper from my pocket. His phone number was written on it, in handwriting, an ordinary morning. But for me, it was extraordinary. Will we really meet again? I wondered. Or was it just a dream? I touched the paper in my pocket, carefully so it wouldn't crease. I'll ring in a week, I resolved. The taxi stopped outside my sister's house. I got out, took my case. I opened the front door. My sister came out in her pajamas.
Emily, you made it. Are you knackered?
I'm all right. My sister looked at me closely.
You look different somehow. You seem brighter.
I didn't say more. Not yet. I went to my room, put down my case, sat on the bed. I took out the paper again, looked at the phone number. I was looking forward to 1 week from now. 1 week passed. Every day I took out that paper, read the phone number, memorized it. My sister kept asking why I looked so happy. I didn't answer. Finally, the promised day arrived. My hands trembled. I picked up the phone, dialed the number. The ringing tone sounded. Once, twice.
Hello?
James, it's me. Emily.
I've been waiting. Oxford? 2 o'clock at the station?
Yes. I hung up. My heart was pounding. I took the train to Oxford, gazed out the window. The landscape passed by. The train arrived. I stepped off. He was standing there, wearing a coat, holding a bouquet. My feet moved of their own accord. He handed me the flowers. I took them. We stood there. People walked past. Nobody paid us any mind.
Shall we walk?
We held hands, naturally. We walked through Oxford streets. University buildings lined the way.
I've booked a hotel.
James said carefully. I nodded. I knew what it meant. It was a small hotel, quiet. We checked in. We went up to the room, opened the door. As the door closed, we looked at each other and moved simultaneously. James pulled me into his arms. Hard, I held him too. Our lips with tongue met, roughly, desperately. A week's worth of longing exploded. His hand swept down my back, gripped my waist, touched my bottom. I couldn't breathe. My hands unbuttoned his shirt, one by one, hurrying yet careful. His shirt came off. My hands explored his chest. It was warm. His heart was beating wildly. He unbuttoned my blouse, slowly, maintaining eye contact. The blouse fell to the floor. His gaze swept over my body. I felt embarrassed. It was a 62-year-old body, but in his eyes there was only desire. His hand stroked my shoulder, moved down along my collarbone, cupped my breast over my bra. I stifled a moan.
Delicious.
He whispered. He squeezed gently. The soft give made him close his eyes. My hand went to his trouser waistband, undid his belt. We tumbled onto the bed, tangled, stroking, kissing, putting inside it. His lips moved down to my neck, my collarbone, my breasts. I stroked his hair. Silver strands slipped between my fingers. We explored each other. These were sensations we hadn't felt in so long. Time passed. I couldn't tell how long. Finally, we lay side by side, catching our breath. He took my hand. Afternoon sunlight streamed through the window. James looked at me. Seriously.
I love you, Emily.
My heart stopped. Tears came. I love you too, James. He held me tight. We kissed again. This time slowly, gently. Through the window, Oxford was visible. A beautiful city. Our new beginning was happening here. At over 60 years old. Late, but not too late. Love doesn't ask your age. After that day, we met every week. Oxford, Bath, the Cotswolds, sometimes London. The place didn't matter. Being together mattered. It was a Saturday afternoon. We met at a small tea shop in the Cotswolds, sat by the window. Outside was a garden. It was autumn. Leaves were falling. James took my hand. On the table, openly, in front of everyone. I wasn't embarrassed anymore. He kissed me, slowly, his eyes on mine. An elderly couple at the next table smiled, looking at us. We drank tea, ate scones, talked about nothing in particular, weather, gardens, books, music, but everything felt special. James's hand moved to my knee under the table, slowly stroked my thigh. I held my breath. James, I whispered.
Hmm?
He sipped his tea casually, but his hand kept moving. My hand went to his thigh. Under the table, slowly moved upward. He set down his teacup, rather firmly. We locked eyes, smiled.
Shall we take a walk?
We paid the bill, went outside. We walked through village lanes. Stone walls lined the way. Old houses stood. It was quiet. At a corner, James pushed me against the wall. Suddenly, James, he kissed me, roughly, desperately, in the open lane. I didn't push him away. Instead, I pulled him closer, wrapped my arms around his neck, kissed him back. His hand swept down my back, gripped my waist, squeezed my bottom. My hands explored his chest, over his coat. I could feel firm muscle. Someone coughed. But we didn't stop and just see her. A middle-aged woman stood there, walking her dog. She smiled and passed by.
Sorry.
James said. The woman waved.
Don't worry, lovely to see.
We laughed. We kept walking, hand in hand. We climbed a hill. There was a bench. The village spread out below. We sat, side by side. James put his arm around my shoulders. I leaned against his chest. His hand slipped inside my coat, cupped my breast over my jumper. Gently. James,
No one's around.
He was right. There was nobody nearby. I unbuttoned his coat, slipped my hand inside, touched his chest over his shirt. It was warm. We sat like that, touching each other, kissing. The sun dipped lower. The sky turned red. Finally, we stood, walked down the hill to the car park. We stopped in front of James's car.
Next week?
Of course, he pulled me into a tight embrace. Long?
I love you, Emily.
I love you too, James. One last kiss. Long. We separated, went to our respective cars. I drove back to the Cotswolds. The empty house felt less lonely now. Beside the phone sat his photograph, taken in Oxford. I looked at the photo and smiled. A love found at 62, late but beautiful enough. I went out to the garden. The evening air was cold. Stars emerged. My mobile buzzed. A text. Home safe. Happy again today. Let's talk tomorrow. Love you. I replied. Home safe too. I was happy too. Looking forward to tomorrow.
Love you.
I looked up at the stars. They twinkled. Thank you, I thought, for this love. I went inside, made tea, sat on the sofa, turned on the radio. Soft music played. I closed my eyes. James's face appeared. His smile, his touch, his voice, everything was vivid. Love doesn't ask your age. Loneliness doesn't ask your age. But neither does happiness. You can feel excitement past 60. You can love past 60. You can be happy past 60. That's what I learned. It started on a night coach to London. Now it's a new chapter of my life. Dear listeners, age is just a number. Love can find you anytime. Be ready. Keep your heart open. Then someday it will come to you too, at an unexpected moment, in an unexpected place, just like me. Thank you.